It's time for NEC On the Run Women's Basketball Edition. Hello, everyone. I'm Ralph Ventre. I'm ready for another week of Northeast Conference basketball. I have a lot of good info to give you on today's show. Let's start it off, as we always do, taking a look at that ever-developing big picture. And this week, the big picture is all about PA. The NEC's two Keystone State-based members are on fire. Robert Morris, perfect 9-0 in the conference standings. St. Francis U, 8-1. The Red Flash, their lone losses to Robert Morris. That means RMU and SFU, a combined 16-0 against NEC opponents. We're right at the midway point of the conference schedule. Those two teams are 16-0. Stats amazing. I know we'll get to that part of the show later on. But be careful not to forget about Fairleigh Dickinson. The Knights had 8 non-conference wins, the most in the NEC. Went through a little bit of a dry spell in January, but they're back. They've won 4 in a row. They are 5-4 in NEC play, and as you can see, it's tight there in the middle. 5 teams, count them, 5 teams are either 5-4 or 4-5, as we are right at the midway point in the conference schedule. We got a full month of February ahead, a full slate this week. You can catch all the games live on Front Row, and of course, we have our game of the week on ESPN3, Saturday, 2 p.m. in Loretto. Robert Morris and St. Francis U, the rematch of the heavyweights. We'll talk a little more about that as the show goes on. But as for now, that's your big picture. Our next segment takes a look at Megan Smith, Robert Morris senior forward. She really is known for setting the tone for the league's top-ranked defense, but she gets buckets too. And the last time out against Central Connecticut, a 66-47 win, Smith went for a season-high 22 points, 9 for 10 from the floor. Megan Smith, a versatile forward. She's averaging 10.5 points per game. She's known for her defense and rebounding, but she gets buckets too. Let's take our Twitter timeout. This week's featured tweet comes from Pittsburgh Post-Gazette writer Omari Sankofa. And Omari recently penned a feature story on RMU's freshman point guard Hanoka Ikematsu, who happens to be the Northeast Conference Rookie of the Week as well. Ikematsu, recruited from Japan, the first Japanese-born player on Robert Morris's roster, and she can stroke it from downtown, folks, averaging more than 2 3-pointers per game. She has a .489 three-point field goal percentage. That's second overall on the Division I leaderboard. Only UConn's Kia Nurse is better. Hanoka Ikematsu, she can hit the 3. She's doing big things out in Moon Township. Read more about her in Sankofa's piece in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Checking in on the NEC stock market, taking a look at which player's value is on the rise this week. I'm looking at Mount St. Mary's Jr. Juliette Lawless. She started the season a bit slow. No double-digit scoring performances in any of her first 5 games, becoming more effective as the season wore on. In conference play, she scored at least 13 points in 6 of 9 games, and most recently, she went for a season-high 21 points in Mount St. Mary's win over Wagner. Lawless was 8 for 12 from the floor, 3 for 4 from downtown. Her first 20-point performance of the season, a victory for Mount St. Mary's. Juliette Lawless, her stock is on the way up. It's nothing new for St. Francis U's Jess Kovach. She's been doing amazing things for 2+ seasons now, and she has me in a state of amazement this week. It's the three-point shooting. She still has at least 9 games to go in her junior season, yet she is only 6 3-pointers away from SFU's career record. Kovach, she has 294 triples in her career, 86 this year. That's already tied for 11th in the NEC single-season record book. Kovach, with another big weekend, can surpass Alexa Hayward for SFU's career three-pointers record. She's averaging 4.1 triples per game this season. That's second in the nation, and stats amazing. So I hope you've enjoyed your quick trip around Northeast Conference basketball. Robert Morris and St. Francis U meet again this Saturday in our featured game on ESPN3. Remember, it was Megan Smith with the big bucket last time these two teams met. The game-winning three-pointer in Moon. We'll see how it goes in Loretto this time around. A number of other big games on that slate. As I mentioned, 5 teams in a logjam in the middle of the standings. It's February. The stakes are rising. A lot of exciting NEC hoops action on the way. Enjoy it all at necfrontrow.com. I'm Ralph Ventre. Thanks for watching On the Run. I'll see you next week.